Thanks, AJ. Apparently I'm talking and nobody's hearing me. That's embarrassing. I really need to automate my whole streaming process because at the moment I have to turn the mic off so the pre-streaming screen will show, and then I have to turn it back on again when I switch over. It's a whole thing. I think I need to configure some shortcuts or some keys or something to kind of switch my things over. I actually started the stream and I had the wrong screen on, and then I realized and I stopped the stream again. So anyway, it's a whole thing. So thanks, AJ, for letting me know. As I was saying, I was at WordCamp US last week, and at WordCamp US, a whole bunch of AI things dropped. It's a bit choppy. I've been having internet issues today, so I'm wondering if the internet issues are causing the choppiness. Let's do a quick speed test and see what my internet looks like. It's pretty decent. I've got a 100 meg line, so it should be okay. Let me know if the choppiness continues or if it gets better. But unfortunately, not much I can do about it. Sucks. The background music is okay, just your mic. Interesting. I wonder if it's crisp causing trouble. Let me know if it continues being choppy, and I'll try disabling crisp. It does say no call in progress. I wonder. Anyway, let me know how it goes. Let me know if it continues being choppy, and I'll just disable crisp. Okay. So, where was I? Oh, yes. AI things, AI news. So, a couple of things happened last week during WordCamp US. The first of which was that the Abilities API had its first official release. This was on the, I can't see the date here, can I? It says last week. GitHub is great at putting dates on things. Oh, they've already released version 0.11 4 hours ago. I wish this would tell you when it was last week. Was it Monday? Was it Tuesday? Who knows? Yes, okay, last week. When last week? Stupid thing. But anyway, version 0.10 was released last week. Maybe I can get it from the commit. Let's have a look. Why does GitHub show dates? Okay, let's see. When was this merged? Last week. That's helpful. August 28th. Okay, there we go. August 28th. So August 28th would have been Thursday. So it was Thursday, Friday. This was done, and I think I woke up to this sort of Thursday morning my time, and realized I was presenting a workshop using the Abilities API that Friday, and had a little bit of a freak out. But fortunately, all it really was just gathering all of the commits that had happened in sort of one official release. So nothing major. You know, there is now a plugin that you can download. So what I was doing previously was downloading the trunk zip file or checking out the project. There is now an official releases page, and you can download the plugin file from the assets directory. So it just makes it a lot easier to get hold of the code. I see there's a version 0.11 update. And one of the things that actually happened was there is a composer package now. I think composer support was actually fixed. Yes, this was actually fixed as part of the 0.10 release. But what that means is you can now create plugins that will ship with this code as a composer package, which is kind of cool. So one of the things that I want to actually do today is I want to update my abilities, my AI experiments plugin. Let me just find it here quickly. I have this plugin here that depends on the abilities API and depends on the MCP adapter. And now that the abilities API is available as a composer package, I kind of want to update the plugin to support the composer package. So I might do that later, but that's kind of that. There are some documentation updates, some REST API initialization things. So kind of cool that we're starting to see some official releases of the abilities API. So that was the one thing that happened last week. The other thing that happened last week, and I think this happened at Contributor Day, was that the AI client received its first official release as well. So this is kind of exciting because now this code is actually usable, quote unquote usable, meaning the team figures that it's kind of, folks can start playing with it, folks can start using it. There is actually some code examples that exist here now. So I actually want to maybe try some of these out today, and see how they work and what they do. This thing is probably going to need some kind of configuration, maybe. But at the same time, Felix also released this chatbot demo. Let me just open this up here. So this is basically a demo implementing the PHP AI client. And it uses the WordPress Abilities API. So I think a good idea might actually be to pull this code and just see what it does and kind of explore how it works, and understand the two things it's using. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start with, okay, we'll need these Docker. Okay, using Docker. We don't have to use Docker, I don't think. Let's see, is this is a plugin, so we should be able to clone this into my experiment site. So let's do this. Let's go to Studio. And let's open up our experiments. And this is just the test site that I've been playing with these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deactivate Abilities API, and the experiment server and the MCP adapter. And I'll disable plugin check because I don't need that right now. And then let's open up the site in PHP Storm. And let's check out the code. Let's exit out of this. And then let's go to WP content plugins. Let's clone this. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to have to install all the things. So composer, install npm run build. Okay, so composer install. npm install. And npm run build. Okay, let's have a look while that's finishing up. Let's have a look what's sitting in the code. So we have the plugin demo. Okay, it loads the demo. Version checks and things. Okay, so it's creating all this, plugin autoloaders and things. Interesting how Felix creates his plugins. I mean, it's nothing right or wrong. It's just got all the third-party stuff there. Okay. Okay, there's a bunch of admin notices, and then it loads the demo. Okay, that's all of this. Version compare, autoloaders, so it chatbot demo plugin main. So this is probably going to be in here. There we go. Okay, so supporting Anthropic, Google, and OpenAI. All right, let's take a look at what this does in the WordPress site itself. So if we refresh this, wait, okay, guessing this is going to be some kind of, yeah, okay, credentials, API credentials, okay. I need to go off and get those, so I'm going to do that off screen. Trying to remember how to log into my account. I think it's this one. In case you're wondering, I'm busy using my Google account to log in and it's freezing. And I have no idea why. Let's try that again. There we go. Now I can't show you this because this is all my... how do I get to the API keys? Okay. Delete some keys here. Actually, no, I'll create a new one. I'll delete this key in a minute. Okay, so let's pop the key in there. And we'll save changes. Okay, and we'll ask it to use Anthropic. All right, so I'm guessing this kind of stuff you're going to have to build yourself if you're using the AI client because it's kind of provider agnostic. So I'm interested to know how that would work. I'm just checking the code how Phoenix is doing this. Let's close this down. Hey, Georgie. Okay, so that's that done. So now there's the chatbot. How can I help you? Powered by Anthropic. Now, according to the demo, it's making use of abilities. So I want to see what abilities it has. There's a create post draft ability. There's a create post featured image, get post ability, publish post ability, search post ability, and set permanent structure. Okay. Let's start with permanent structure. Let's see what that does. What is my current permalink structure? Now this, if this can pick up, well, it's got sets. I don't know if it'll get it. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Let's see. It's probably going to need a get permalink structure ability. Oh, doesn't have a tool available. Okay. So it'd be cool if it actually has that tool and it can actually tell you what your current permalink structure is. Currently it's set to post name. So let's see if we can tell it to set the permalink structure to day and name. Okay. But I'm going to do that from the dashboard. So I'll go to the dashboard. Set the permalink structure to day and name. Okay, let's see if that's true. Pretty cool if it is. Hey, look at that. It did updated the permalink structure. So this is kind of cool. This is kind of, so what Felix is doing here is kind of the same kind of thing I was doing with my experiments plugin. Is playing with some abilities, getting them to work in places. He's gone ahead and implemented a whole assistant inside of WordPress. So that's definitely something I can see being built on top of. What I do want to see is, I want to see his generate post featured image ability. I want to see how that works. So that generates a featured image for a given post using LLM and assigns it to the post. Okay. The input schema is the post ID and the instruction of the image. The output schema is the attachment ID. So it actually creates the image attachment and a success message. Execution gets the post ID, generates the image, creates a new prompt, attempts to create the image from the AI client. Once it does that, it actually tries to, it takes that image and tries to put it inside of the upload directory. Then it handles side load, which I'm going to guess is some way to upload an image to the media library. Then it inserts the attachment. That makes sense. And then it generates that attachment. It sets the post thumbnail on the post. Okay. Let's see how that works. So, this is a create post draft ability. So I should be able to create a draft post, create a featured image, and then publish that post. Let's see how this rolls. Okay. So let's say create a draft post on the topic of WordPress and AI. Okay. So that should call the right tool. Okay, I created the draft post. The draft inserted post ID 17. Would you like me to make changes to the content, generate a featured image for the post, or help you publish it? So it knows what other tools it has. That's kind of cool. Generate a featured image for the post. Let's see if I can handle that. I expect it will, but let's see. I'm not able to generate a featured image. The image generation functionality isn't available with the current. Okay, it's probably because Anthropic doesn't support that. That's fine. Let's see what the draft looks like. Okay, I think Google Gemini supports image generation. So does OpenAI. I want to see. I'm going to open up a new tab. I want to see what happens if I also give it the OpenAI API key. So I'm going to just log in on the side here quickly. Again. Okay, so AI SDK chatbot. So I'm going to pop in my OpenAI key here as well. And I'm going to save changes to none. I wonder if it'll try and use one or the other. Let's see. Can you generate a featured? Wait, can use. Now, generate a featured image for the post. Let's see if I can figure it out now. If it knows to switch. I'd have to look into the code to understand how that works, but I just want to see if it's able to figure it out. It's thinking for a while, so it might be trying both providers. I may have broken it by not specifying the provider. No, it worked. So that's cool. You can have multiple providers. And I think I read somewhere that the AI client will actually try or determine which one is the right thing to work. I can't remember exactly. But that's kind of cool. Let's go see. Let's go see what the post looks like now. There we go. We have a featured image. We have content. We can post content. Obviously, this is gonna. Okay, look. I'm gonna be brutally honest. This is going to be AI generated slop. We know this is a real thing. So ideally what you would now do is you would come along and you would tweak and you would update and you would do your thing. I do this all the time. I generate the initial draft using AI and then I clean it up. I think I've even blogged about this somewhere. Yeah, I blogged about it here. No, I blogged about it here. There we go. How I'm using AI and the process that I follow. I use AI, I admit it, but I certainly don't just post it like this as if I'm ready for it. What is interesting, I just clicked on this now, so it's not a block. It's not blocks, for example. It is using the classic block. So that's maybe something to think about when you're building this stuff. You know, maybe you want to check if the block editor is enabled, if you're using classic editor, and then render the content the same way. I had this in some of my early tests. This is not a comment against Felix's work. I'm just saying if you're going to be implementing this stuff in your own projects, something to think about. But I mean, it still works. It still looks like a post. So let's publish this. Publish this post. Okay, post is live. It has a URL. Let's click on the URL. There it is. There's the image. There's the content. Ready to rock and roll. Now, what excites me about this is if you think about use cases. even if you don't want to use AI to generate your content, which you shouldn't do, you should have a human input. The ability to the ability the ability for someone like an editor or a manager or whatever the case may be to log in and just go, hey, the following posts are ready, publish them or schedule them, or whatever the case may be, as opposed to having to click, go and schedule and blah and blah and blah, is kind of cool. The ability, so I noticed that there is a search posts ability for a given search string. So again, as an example, you could create an ability that returns all posts by a specific author. And you could tell your AI agent or your client or whatever, get me the post by author X, and it'll pull them in, and you can then read through them and skim them and blah, blah, blah. So those kind of things are what excites me about this, kind of taking the mundane side of managing a content website or managing a website, and just automating some of those processes. So this is very, very cool. Now, James, my colleague at Automatic, has been noodling on a branch of this, where I want to just open up this branch. Again, I'm having internet issues, so things seem to be taking a long time here. But I want to just see what's going on here. My internet is so slow right now. Hopefully this is not affecting the stream. So James is doing some things with MCP clients and stuff. So I want to see. I kind of stumbled across this branch out. I want to see what he's doing here. So let's check that branch out, and see what changes, if anything, that makes. So let's go git check out. Try agent tick. 2 T's. What is he even doing? Let's just have a look here. Doing something with MCP here. I don't know what James has been doing. I'm not going to dive into that right now. Anyway, you're welcome to check out all this code. It's all sitting in this public repo on Felix's account. Install it, check it, play out. Install it, play out with it, play with it, check it out. But it's kind of exciting because you can now, with this core, abilities API, and with the PHP AI client, you can start building these kind of tools inside of WordPress. The AI client, I just want to go back to the documentation here. It looks like it currently supports text generation and image generation only. Um, I want to see something. Yeah, so I was reading this earlier. It looks like you can specify a specific model, or you can say use any model, which will just basically take the compatible model. So it looks like it internally checks out which models are available and uses them accordingly. Somebody on Twitter mentioned, about the fact that if you're using these things, you're going to be, using your credits or whatever with your LLMs. Totally true. So you need to think about what you're enabling and what you're allowing folks to be able to do. I do feel like this is kind of something that shouldn't be something that just gets built into WordPress. The abilities definitely should get built into WordPress, but the whole point around the AI client, and that's one of the reasons it's been built like this, is that it is a composer package. So you add it to your plugin or your product or your whatever. You build your settings around it, or you build your hard code, or not hard code, but you build your LLM support into it, and you control how it gets used. So this is not something that's going to come to WordPress core. This is something that you're going to be able to add on to your projects. But what's cool about it is it does make all of this stuff available inside WordPress. In fact, what's also nice about this is that this project is not specific to WordPress. You could use this in any other PHP package. Like I could just create a PHP file that just does this, theoretically. I just got an idea for a quick hack. What I want to know is, how does if you don't build settings, how does it get API keys and things? That's what I want to check quickly. Okay, so you got provider credentials and current provider. So it supports those three models. Okay, that's actually hard-coded. Interesting. So that's actually currently hard-coded. This is me trying to understand what this code is doing. It's all the setting stuff. There we go. Initialize provider credentials. Which is the setting? So my phone's ringing because I dropped my car off this morning. But I did give them my wife's number to phone in case they couldn't get hold of me. Anyway. So our client seems to... So it looks like you need to use the default registry and then request authorization with a provider ID and API request authentication. You probably would need to do that in your plugin. Or wherever you're doing this. So I really want to dive into this at some point in the future. It's kind of interesting to me how this is going to work. But it's cool to see some interesting examples of all of this. I might have to work with this because let's just see if I talk about times and context, architecture. We need some good examples of how this works. So I think what I'm going to do, let's just see code examples. Okay, so we can generate text. Okay, I'm gonna bug Felix probably next time I chat to him and ask him how he would do this sort of in a single file. I'll probably fiddle with some example plugins myself or code or whatever, just to kind of get the basic understandings of how the authentication works and then how you can use it to generate all these prompts. Because right now it's not super clear to me. But it is cool to see the thing working and doing its thing. So that's kind of exciting. All right, that was that. So that was the Abilities API. That was the AI client, the SDK chatbot demo. Then, outside of the core AI team, there were some AI product launches last week that I kind of stumbled across. The one was, and this was kind of interesting, when I checked into my hotel last week, on the little sleeve that held my hotel room key card, there was a little QR code that you could scan, and it took you to this thing called Angie. So Angie is this AI agent, I guess, that the folks at Elementa have created. So I thought today might be a good day to check that out as well. So I'm going to disable the chatbot demo quickly. And see what that does. Okay, so let's download Angie. Now this is probably going to be kind of similar to what we just did, but let's have a look. Build and run your WordPress site by talking to Angie from content design to update subject. Okay, so let's add Angie. So I'm guessing the name Angie comes from agent. So let's have a look here. So there's Angie. Okay. Meet Angie, the agentic AI built for WordPress and gets real work done for you, from launching pages to bulk updates. Angie turns hours of manual tasks into minutes, so you can stay focused on what matters. Okay. Sign in to continue. What do I need to sign into? I'm guessing this is some Elementor account that I need to sign into in order to, I don't know, use their LLM system. And this is going to be one of the big sort of issues around how this stuff works. Is looks like this doesn't work on a local environment. So right now this seems to be not working. Oh wait, we've got something happening here. Okay, use your social account to skip authentication, otherwise okay. I don't want to sign in with Facebook, so I'm going to sign in with Google. Hopefully it'll just use my personal email account. Let's see if I can get away with that. Okay. Okay, redirecting. Comes back to my site. Okay, that's good. All right. Okay. So it's moved my dashboard over to the right a little bit. Not the end of the world. So I've obviously embedded something on the right here. There's all my account details. I've got 0 credits that I've used. I don't know how much credits I have on the free plan. There are 94 tools available, which is interesting. Resize image, generate logo, generate featured image, fetch external image. Okay, what can Angie do? Angie web search, web fetch, generate text. Okay. Let's see what Angie can do. Let's say create a new about page for this website, all about experimenting with WordPress and AI. Include the following projects on the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jam in one of these AI things we've been fiddling with today. No, that's not the one I want. So let's go Abilities API. Let's go PHP AI client. Let's add the MSP adapter. Let's add my AI experiments plugin. There, let's do that. Okay, let's see what Angie. Unable to start new session. Please. Now I've got connection issues. Now I'm wondering if this is my internet that's a problem. You can't see what I'm writing because my head's in the way, so I'm going to move my head out the way. Stick it over here for a bit. Now, does this mean that I can't use Angie on a local environment? Let's see if this will work on my personal site. No, that's the wrong one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign out here. Okay, and let's try and connect to my live site. I think it might be an issue with running things on a local environment. Come on. Okay, let's see if it works now. Create an about page website about experimenting with WordPress and AI. Okay, so my guess is I don't have any credits, I can't use this. It's a bit of a bummer. Wouldn't it be nice if they gave me like 5 free credits? So I can't really test this out. I mean, I get it. What happens if I got upgrade plan? Oh, something went wrong. Okay, I don't know. I'll contact. Who's the lady? But I don't know if Miriam to. Miriam. I'll chat with Miriam and see if she can hook me up with like a free trial or something. And try this out. But right now I can't do anything with it. So if you've had better experiences with Angie, let me know. But I really can't test it out right now. Anyway, moving right along. The other thing that was announced at WordCamp US during Matt's closing was something called Telex. Everybody's jumping on the AI bandwagon. Disclaimer, I work at Automatics. I knew about this before you all did. But this basically allows you to build blocks using, a chat interface. And I built a couple of blocks with it. I built a couple of game blocks. I built a couple of form blocks. It works pretty well. So let's see what we can throw at it today. So let's say, okay, this is going to go into block editor. So build a block that connects. Is there a free weather API? Probably the first one. build a block that connects to the free weather API and provides weather based on a city entered by the user. The block should display a sample placeholder in the editor, but only display weather content on the front end once the user enters the name of their city. It should gracefully handle errors if the city name is incorrect or not bound. Okay, let's see what happens. Now, as I say, I have been testing this for a while. I have no idea what happens underneath. But it does a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of magic, like most of this nonsense. But what it pulls is pretty good. I've been testing this for, as I say, about a month now. It's not too bad. So I'm going to throw my face back over to where it was because I don't like it over there. And then we can see what this thing generates. What I do like about Telex is it does show you kind of the files that it's creating as it's creating them. So you actually get a feel that something is happening, which is kind of cool. And then what it does, it loads up like this playground-like interface. It has the assistant on the right-hand side. It has the preview window, which if you've seen Playground, you'll recognize this preparing WordPress logo. So it's essentially, I think, loading an instance of Playground. As you can see, there's a very big experimental sticker on the top there. But this does require you to log into a WordPress.com account. So if you don't have a WordPress.com account, you need to create one. It is all free, though. It doesn't require any credits, payments, or whatever. So right now it is free. And then it loads the block editor with your block in the editor. It says the enter a city in the block settings to display the weather. So let's enable the settings. Okay, so let's say Cape Town. Weather for Cape Town. Weather info will appear for visitors on the front end. Okay, so that's what it's doing in the block. I hope it doesn't have the city setting on the front end. That'll be interesting. Oh, this is actually not what I wanted. I didn't want it to have the setting there. I wanted it to have on the front end. But anyway, let me show you. What you can also do from here is you can just click on the front end button. So it shows you what the block looks like on the front end. So it's kind of like a browser within a browser, if you will. It doesn't seem to be doing anything right now. And then you can click on admin. And that'll take you to, hopefully, the admin page. Which also doesn't seem to be doing anything right now. And if there's an error. Oh no, it is working, it's just taking a while. Okay, so let's go back to the editor. And there's the block there. I want to see if there are any errors when I load the front end as to why. Don't want mobile. Just clear this out. Looks like it's something else. So what you can do at this point is you can say the block does not seem. I wonder if it's because I'm not saving it. Let me try saving it. So let's go down, save. And then let's go front end. Doesn't seem to be rendering. Okay, so let's go back to the editor. Block has the case. So let's say the block does not seem to be rendering. Okay, so it's busy doing things. This is the one thing I find I do a lot when I'm working with AI stuff, is like I'm waiting for code to get generated. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, so let's try that again. So let's go. Cape Town. Let's save that. Save, let's go to the front end. It's not, still doesn't seem to show anything. So what you can do is you can go and view the code. And I'm pretty sure I know why. Yeah. So this should work actually. There's the render. City gets the city. And then it echoes the div. So theoretically, this should all be working. But nothing seems to be happening here. So what you can do, which I'm going to do now, is you can download the zip file and you can install this on your local. So I'm going to do that right now quickly. I'm going to see why this thing is broken. Okay, Angie will have to get disconnected because Angie's not working today. Let's deactivate Angie. And let's add this plugin. Plugin doesn't have a valid header. Let's have a look. Did I install this on the right side? Oh, I installed it on my own side. Stupid. Let me just delete it, yeah. And then let's open up Studio again. There's that, so I don't get confused. Don't want Angie, so I need to disable Angie here. Okay, let's add the plugin here. Okay, let's look at this plugin code. All right, so there is the main plugin file. It does seem to have plugin header. Okay, the structure is interesting. It doesn't generate the source code in a source code folder. It just generates it in the root of the plugin, which is fine, I guess. But I see the build directory's also got this PHP file, which is not right. So that's probably what's causing the issue. So let me delete this. Okay, and then let's try and activate the plugin now. Plugin does not have a valid header. Oh, you know what? Sometimes in Studio, when you delete stuff, it causes some issues. I think it like loads the file stuff in memory, and when you delete something in your IDE or whatever, it causes issues. So let's I need to report this as an issue at some point in time. I keep forgetting about it. So let's activate this now. This should work now. Yes, it works now. Okay. So yes. So let's add this to a post. So there's the weather. Let's go to Cape Town. Save that and let's preview this. Okay, am I getting any errors here? Not seeing any errors. So there's the block. Just doesn't seem to be adding anything to the block. Okay, let's do this. So the one thing that needs to happen is I need to move the source to the source. That's some feedback I need to give the folks. Wait, what did I just do? I don't need the package.json to be there. There is no package.json. Okay, so I can't really build this. Don't quite know what to do at this point in time. I've definitely had good experiments with this, but this one didn't work very well. So what I can do, actually, let's do that. Let's go here. Let's go Studio, AI Experiments, .p content, plugins, weather. Let's go npm init. Did it not have a package.json? There it is. Did have a package.json. Why didn't that get downloaded? That's weird. Oh, there it is. I'm looking in the wrong place. Silly boy. Okay, let's move that out. Yes. And then the other thing it needs, I need to add .p scripts as a dev dependency. Press scripts. It's weird that it doesn't do this for me, but I can just fix this myself. It's weird that it's taking so long to do this. Why is this taking so long? Oh, here we go. This must be the internet. I really hope that if you're in the stream, you're able to watch all of this, because if my internet's up to nonsense today, then the stream can't be doing well. But at least it's recording, so this will go on YouTube at some point. It's kind of embarrassing. All right, so this is all working now. So now I should be able to go npm start, and it should build everything. Okay, that's good. And now I should be able to delete this, and let's refresh this. And I should be able to add the block and then see what's going on. Okay, so let's preview this. Still not loading the block for some reason. Oh, because there's no render. Okay. Oh, because the render hasn't been specified. So that's interesting. That must mean that Telex is actually rendering the render without it being... Is it specified here? No, it's not. So if we just did that, that would have fixed it. Let's have a look. Okay, let's save that. Let's see if that fixes it. Back to the preview. Okay, let's go Cape Town. Save. Updating failed. Okay, let's see. that. Hey, loading weather. Yay! It worked. Okay, so fixing that line in the block.json fix things. It's weird that it thinks that this has been, unless the actual code, I don't know, it's weird because that function isn't anywhere. So it's weird that that was detected as an issue. I'm not quite sure why myself. Feel like maybe what's happening is the render.php file is being included incorrectly somehow inside of Telex. So anyway, I'm gonna see if I can log this internally. I have had some fun with this. I built a local time thing, I think. I built a tic-tac-toe project, which was fun. I don't even know if I tested this, to be honest. I built a Minesweeper one as well, but I think I deleted that. So what I do like about this is you can open up your previous projects and you can share those links with folks. There's a little share button there and those kind of things. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, just some of these internal sort of how the plugin block is built kind of thing I would like to see fixed. Like this thing not setting the render correctly is kind of annoying. You know, if you weren't a block developer, you wouldn't know that. The fact that the final code is not structured correctly, it doesn't have the package.json configured correctly, it doesn't have the source directory, those things. So I'll be updating folks about this at a later stage. But it's fun to play with, so check that out when you get a chance. And that's kind of it for me for today. Those were the sort of big news things that I had come out. So it was the Abilities API, the PHP AI SDK. Oh, the other thing that came out of WordCamp US for me was that during my workshop, a couple of folks. So I was doing my workshop using VS Code. Was it the MCP adapter? Am I in the right place? Yes, I'm in the right place. And some of the folks in the workshop were using Cursor, and so it was determined that Cursor gives issues. And then one of the workshop attendees actually submitted a PR to fix this. So if you're a Cursor user and you want the MCP adapter to work in Cursor, we're obviously working on getting that fixed. Hopefully I'll get these. There's this one and there's another one. There's 36 and I think 37 that has 2 fixes for Cursor users. So hopefully we'll get those updated and fixed soon. Kind of cool that those things came out of my workshop. You know, folks are starting to use this stuff. So it's kind of exciting that we're actually getting some fixes out of this. But I think that's going to be my bit for today. That's everything that I wanted to cover. Thank you for joining me if you did, if you hung around. I think it's only AJ that's still here. There's a couple of new folks joining back. Tammy's here as well. Hopefully you were able to watch the stream with all my internet issues. But I'll be back next week. Next week I want to kick off my sending development live stream. So I want to start developing the sending theme. I want to use as much AI as I can. So hopefully that'll be a little bit more exciting than you know what today was, which is a lot of me just looking at stuff. But otherwise, thanks for joining, and I'll see you around soon. Bye.